we're going to go to our last story. It's not about billionaires racing to Mars.
No.
It's not that important. They're not the real heroes.
No.
The real heroes are the scientists racing to save bees. And the headline on this story coming out of the University of Oxford is that scientists make superfood that could save honeybees. This was in the BBC from our friends across the pond. And the byline is scientists have developed a honeybee superfood that could protect animals against the threats of climate change and habitat loss. So all I know about bees is what I see on all these memes and trending stories about we got to save the bees because they're such a critical part of like the circle of life. And if the bees go away, there's like a collapse of the ecosystem that arises.
And agriculture. And agriculture. Like human agriculture.
Yeah, that sort of arises out of that. Yeah. So this is like an important, like this is, how does this connect to my everyday life? Like this matters. This matters
a lot. Like your food.
Yeah, like if you like food, you're gonna want to save the bees. So what exactly is going on here?
Yeah, bees are extremely important, and I think it's urgent for us to address this. Okay, because we are facing like a death spiral when it comes to how our agriculture sustains itself. Okay. I have some numbers for you.
Okay.
35% of the world's food crops depend on animal pollinators.
Okay.
Bees are the things that take, the female part of one flower, put it into the male part of another flower, and then we get fruit. Mm-hmm. Okay. So anything that has fruit really requires pollinators. Okay. Something like 1 in 3 bites of human food requires a pollinator. Okay. Mm-hmm. The economic value is something like $500 billion. Mm-hmm. In the US alone, it's something like $30 billion annually. And a single honeybee's pollination, like a single honeybee colony's pollination, is worth 100 times more to the community than it is to the beekeeper.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah,
like we've seen, when we go out to Los Olivos and all these other guys, like, we see these bee communities, right? That bee colony is worth 100 times more than it is to the bee.
So instead of focusing on cutting programs, Doge should have focused on saving the bees.
Yeah. If only, right?
We would have saved more money.
If only. Yeah. And those bee populations are declining. Okay, something like 40% per year. Rapidly, dude. It's the losses in 2025 are projected to be around 60 to 70%. Okay. And this comes from a variety of factors. It's environmental, climate change, like warmer temperatures are not good for the bees. Plants bloom at times the bees are not active. One of the other big ones is a core nutritional gap between when you have these like colonies that are sort of reared by beekeepers. There's a nutritional gap between what the beekeepers can give to the bees and what they actually require. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it's been really hard to actually bridge that gap because what they're really lacking is these things called essential sterols. It's like cholesterol and other types of like fatty acids that are really hard to synthesize in a industrial manner. Because a lot of times what these beekeepers do is they're not relying on like the flowers to feed the bees. They have like artificial, feed.
Yep.
But you're not able to fulfill the entire nutritional needs.
Yep.
Okay, and that is what this paper is addressing. What they did was they bioengineered yeast to make all of the essential oils that bees require.
This is fascinating, right?
Yeah.
So we have a key issue, the collapse of the bee population, which is fundamental to the entire agriculture and ecosystem infrastructure that enables human life as we know it today to exist.
Yep.
We currently have a variety of very sort of impactful, like the job that beekeepers are doing is a valuable addition to trying to do something about the problem.
Yeah.
But they're fundamentally limited because the artificial, the feed that they're providing it is not sufficient for the needs of these populations we're trying to continue like sustain.
Yeah. And so again, synthetic biology came to the rescue, okay? Mm-hmm. What this team at Oxford did was they took yeast, a biosafe yeast, so something that's okay for consumption, and it had high levels of acetyl-CoA, which is acetyl coenzyme A. It's something that every molecular biology person is going to know about. It's something that's used in the Krebs cycle. It's something used like it's like essential for energy in a cell. And what they did was they commandeered this process using our favorite thing, CRISPR-Cas9. Yay! Yeah, so they got CRISPR-Cas9, and what they did was they got genes from green phytoplankton, tomatoes, potatoes, because these are the genes that make these particular sterols, right?
Greens, beans, potatoes,
tomatoes,
chicken, turkey.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They snipped out these genes using CRISPR-Cas9. They put it inside the yeast.
Yep.
And then the yeast is now starting to make these essential oils, in some sense, for the bees.
Yes.
And then what they could do is they could heat inactivate those yeast, dry it up, and then that would become feed for the bees, right? And it also provides proteins for the bees, lipids, vitamins. It became this like one fits all product for bee feed, and the results are, dude, absolutely insane. The bees that had this particular feed, 15 times more viable pupae. Like 15 times more viable.
15x.
15x.
Not a 15%.
No, not 15%. 15x. This is a paradigm shift.
Yeah, no.
This could like save our ass. Dude.
This is a really big deal.
This could enriched colonies continued to rear the brood for like 90 days up until the experiment ended, and then they were like, okay, I guess we got our data, because these guys were just going at it, right? And before it's the pupae, the larval stage was the part that was getting affected, right? Because they're the ones that, as they grow, they really require these nutrients.
It's not the baby formula versus breastfeeding. Kind
of. But this is even worse. This is like at least baby formula has all the essential ingredients.
Fair.
Right?
Fair.
This didn't even have. It's like all you're eating is rice. You're gonna get wrecked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. This reminds me, or has a little bit of a correlation to what the new company that David Friedberg is creating around trying to increase the yield of crops. It's different.
But it's similar. It's precision sort of nutrition.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. At the sort of like the level of what you're trying to give humans versus in this case bees. But like we can actually go in, finagle, and increase outcomes, positive outcomes. 15x is 15x crazy.
Is crazy, dude.
It's crazy.
Like this could be a game changer for bee populations worldwide. And the other big advantage is like, when you have beekeepers with bee colonies, like they are constantly competing with native bee populations and native pollinators to get the food. Now, if we've got a complete diet for these bee colonies, then the native population that is like there in the ecosystem doesn't have to compete with the agricultural population that is there to pollinate all this stuff, right?
That's an
like there's
nexus.
an ecosystem balance that is happening.
Yes.
That is like even better, right? Because then, it's
there's currently this resource scarcity.
Exactly.
And so the sort of farm raised versus wild have to compete.
Exactly, but now they don't have to.
That's a
really big one.
That's a really big deal. No, that's a really big deal.
Like
that's a really big deal.
Yeah. I think it's really cool. I mean, again, CRISPR-Cas9, dude.
I think this
like it's stuff that you'd never think about.
I think we've covered it in at least half of our stories.
Yeah. And every time it's like so cool.
And it's like it's also just like one little variable.
Yeah.
In like the story is something totally
not
related.
But without it, it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. And again, the compounding value of these like key insights, similar to, I think, what was the first story we talked about? The key insight on the second story, the viruses and bacteria, is going to have all these tendrils.
Exactly.
That we might hear a story about saving the bee population because we use the same bacteria. I'm being a little facetious.
No, but totally, dude. Like the bacteria virus thing could be like a chimera that could be used for all sorts of random crap.
So this is a real superfood.
I think it's really cool.
We need to save the bees.
Yeah, I love the bees, right?
We
like
need
I
to
don't
save the
like
bees.
I don't like getting stung.
Right.
And when a bee comes near me, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
But I like bees and what they do.
Yes.
Right?
And we understand their importance to the ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's for the entirety of the planet that we love.